Assange after hearing us.
Just affairs
Julian
on Sydney Town Hall stairs. Here to make a stand.
Petition online,
We
sign if you can.
are all Assange. We've turned our back on lots of injustices in this world. We've turned our back on the Yemen, where people are being bombed and mutilated on a daily basis. We've turned our back on Syria. We've turned our back on lots of places. We're a powerful small country. We have a lot of influence in the world. We can use it. We're not using our influence as individuals or as a nation. If we stick together and look after one another, we can make a difference. The idea that you can't make a difference has been ingrained in you since school days. You think you can't do anything. You think you're somehow powerless. And that cringing creature on TV with a face like a blancmange, as the man says, I can't even remember his name. What's our Prime Minister's name? ScoMo! Oh, ScoMo, yes, ScoMo. That snidey look on his face as he turns his back on Australian citizens. They're doing it tough. Australian citizens are doing it tough for us. They're doing it for us so that we can have a free and normal future. So let's get behind Mr. Assange. Let's get him out of that hellhole in England. Let's get him out of that hellhole in Britain, or should I say, the US, because it's the US that controls London. It's the US that controls Sydney and Canberra. So let's get him back to where he's free. Let's get him back to his family. Let's get him back to us. Let's make him home again in our wonderful country, Australia. Let's stand up for Assange. Please, please, please sign the petition. 500,000 of your fellow men and women and some children, I expect, have signed it, and we need to all sign it. We have to let the government know that we care. We still care, and we'll always care. And no matter what they do to him, we will always be fighting. We will never give up. So this fight that we're doing today, as they said, it's 46 weeks we've been standing here. This will go on. And if they do extradite him, we hope that you'll all be standing with us. But we have to get to the point where we'll stop that from happening. So please, please, please be active. You can make a difference. You are important. You are his friend. You are our friend. Please help us. Thank you.
Free Julian Assange and forward to the world socialist revolution. The world needs it.
Judge Berater, she's in the roving room. She's roving up with all those barristers with their wigs on, so they can't be recognised. We don't want anybody recognising us judges and barristers, for the people we are. We don't want anyone to see us in Woolworths and recognise us. Order, order! Court's in session. All rise.
I am Judge Berater. We are here at the Old Bailey to continue with our farcical hearing about whether or not Mr. Julian Assange will be extradited. The first witness today is Maureen Baird, former prison warder in the United States, who has experienced the special administrative measures of prisoners at Colorado ADX, which is the highest security facility in the United States. Would the defence like to open? Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honour. In your expert opinion, Ms. Baird, do you expect Mr. Assange to be subjected to special administrative measures pre-trial if he is extradited to the United States? Yes. What does these special administrative measures mean for a prisoner in pre-trial, Ms. Baird?
SAMS means being confined to a cell 23 to 24 hours a day with no communication at all with other prisoners. For example, a prisoner in my prison would spend 1 hour a day outside their cell, simply in a different but identical empty cell known as the recreation cell. In my prison, I put an exercise bike, otherwise it would be unequipped. Recreation is always completely alone. Prisoners are allowed one phone call a month of 30 minutes or 2 of 15 minutes to named and vetted family members. All mail is screened, causing it to be delayed typically by 2 to 3 months, if it gets through at all.
Ms. Baird, the US government has claimed that some people under special administrative measures can even have a cellmate.
No, that's not my experience at all.
Thank you. Let us hear some questions from the prosecution.
The prosecution wished to make it clear that prisons in the United States are run like holiday camps, including maximum facilities like ADX Florence, where Julian Assange is likely to end up if he's extradited. For the record, I'd like to mention prison is actually a very popular place in the United States. The United States has more prisoners per capita than any country in the world. I wish to assure everyone that Mr. Assange has nothing to worry about at all. You mentioned prisoners under SAMS are in solitary confinement. The officers on the unit did not have human contact with the prisoners.
They did not speak to inmates.
Why not?
That is not what prison officers do.
Why not? You were in charge.
They just open the small viewing slot in the iron door every half hour and look through. Conversation just did not happen.
You could encourage that.
I could lead by example, but ordering conversation is not something a prison warden does. I do not have that authority. There are unions. If I instructed the prison officers to socialise with prisoners, they would reply that it's not in their job description.
Oh, come on, you could encourage them.
On a normal basis, those officers do not talk to inmates.
Did you tell your staff to? Wouldn't the first thing you could do would be to tell your staff to talk?
That's not how it works.
You could have tried, but you didn't. You clearly could have done more as a warden. you must treat your testimony as being at odds with what Mr. Assange's experience may potentially be if he is extradited.
I must say, SAMS does not sound like it will give Mr. Assange a pleasant holiday atmosphere while he is in the United States. The prosecution has concentrated their efforts on undermining the credibility of the witness. Fortunately for the prosecution, I respect our American friends and so will not draw attention to the prosecution's shortcomings. The court will now adjourn.
All rise!
There's only one decision.
No extradition!
There's only one decision.
No extradition!
There's only one decision.
No extradition!
Free.
Julian Assange! Julian Assange! Julian Assange!
Standing for truth, justice, and liberty.
Yes, same here. That's excellent. I like that.
Curious too.
Yes.
Thank you.
Do you mind holding that?
And we've got many